So hello again, all you wonderful people. I hope everybody had a great week. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Su-57, 5th generation Russian fighter from Zvezda in 1/48 scale. I've done this video before. It was really bad the first time. We're going to get a better look at it this time, I hope. My camera's better this now, so let's take a look at the instruction sheet first. So here's our instruction sheet. You see we have a couple of options here. We can do a display in flight or land or on the ground with the wheels out. So we start here with our parts map. You see there are 4 sprues of gray. It's gray plastic. You have your fuselage here. Fuselage, and also your clear parts. So in the first step we start with the cockpit. See, the seat has quite a few parts to it already. You put the seat, the controls here in the cockpit. Comes with a pilot. And you have some, you put the cockpit into the top fuselage with a couple little parts here as well. There. So here, number 3, we have to cut a hole here for support. I think they're talking about the pylon. Here we build one of the missiles together. There's a pylon. And here is this piece going onto the aircraft. Here is the bottom. It has an internal weapons bay, it looks like. You have the weapons bay with the walls here, the pylons. Here are the missiles. Here we are building the intakes. And put the intakes in the weapons bay into the fuselage. Number 7. More of these walls to the intake. Then 8 we build the exhausts. Here's some sub-assemblies for the nozzles and the horizontal and vertical stabilizers. We put the exhaust nozzles in, the fuselage together. There's also a couple detail parts here. Horizontal and vertical stabilizers in. With the that's the inside of the exhaust. And here's the nozzles. Then we have a couple detail parts for the cockpit here. Put the canopy on it. Here we're building the canards. Here you have the other glass for the cockpit. Here we build the main landing gear. Put the doors for the weapon bay on. Build the wheels together. You have more pylons and looks like external fuel tanks with missiles. Put the wheels onto the landing gear with the landing gear bay doors. Landing gear bay doors. Here as well, you have open or closed. Some more missiles, pylons. These are for the external stores. So there's an internal bay plus external stores as well. Then here you can put a ladder on it if you're putting it on display or the base. Here are marking directions. That's not painting, it's just the markings. It has the markings for the missiles as well. Here as well. There is a paint sheet extra. There's 2 versions. This one's like a bluish green. It might be like the flanker blue-green, maybe? But you have this digital camouflage. It might be kind of hard to get on there. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna work that. On the other side is another one. This is a lighter color with the same digital pattern. I can't really read what units are from or anything. It's in Russian. And it says here number of paints, but it doesn't say what brand of paint. So I don't know. I'm not really sure which one I would choose. The darker one or the lighter one. So with this kit came 2 big sheets of decals. You have your marking decals here. And then your other ones. The rest. But there's a lot to choose from. You have, looks like 3 different numbers to choose from. You have some decals for the cockpit. They look really good. They look like nice decals. I mean, there's some of the markings here too. But you have a really 2 really nice decal sheets for it. The colors look really good, as well as the register to them. So first, let's take a look at the fuselage. Here's the top part. We have nice engraved detail. And we have some of these, I hate these things, because you really have to clean up around it after you cut it off. It has it here too. I don't think that was really necessary. I kind of understand that one, but not really, not there. If it's like a weak apart, like the weapons bay in the bottom of the fuselage, I can understand, which you'll see in a minute. You can see there's some nice detail here around the cockpit as well. On the underside, there's pin marks, but they're not going to get in the way of putting it together. It doesn't look they're going to be in the way. Might shave it down a little bit, like here. Got to get rid of all these. Being careful not to damage the fuselage when you cut them off. I see no problems with the top of the fuselage, really. Now here's the bottom of the fuselage. See, this I can understand because it's going to be weaker here and here, and so they don't want it to break when it's in shipment and stuff like that, so I can understand having that there. It strengthens it, but there's not here. See, the inside of the nose wheel bay is blank. There's no detail at all here. Nothing. There's still these pieces here you have to cut off and be careful not to damage the body on here around the wings. There's less on this piece, just here around the wings, but that's really sometimes a hard part because they're so thin. It's hard to get them off without really damaging them. You have to be pretty careful. Detail is also nice and engraved here. So here we have our clear sprue. It's really crystal clear, and there's good detail on the framing, good detail overall on these parts. It looks really nice for the clear parts. You can see around the frame there. So now we have our big sprues. These are Sprues E. You can see you have external stores with missiles, external fuel tanks, pylons. You have the wheels. You have some wasted plastic too, because there's double engines here, or double exhaust at least. Also some detail parts from the landing gear. There's lots of different types of missiles here. You have the big ones. I think these are probably like anti-ship missiles, probably, and some anti-aircraft missiles too. Lots of different pylons as well. In our figure, also in double. Yeah, you can build one for the model and then sell the other one, I guess. If somebody needs a Russian pilot figure from modern era. There's no flash. There's no flash to be seen here. The inside of the exhaust are not detailed. Here, the inside of this here. Here, the inside of this is not detailed at all. There's some detail here though. A little bit. Have to keep flipping it over for the wheels. Look, on one side here. The other side is here. It looks pretty good. But the wheels are smooth and there's no texture. I don't know if they're supposed to be smooth or not, really. There's a front wheel as well. So you can have double wheels for the front because both sides are here and on the other part as well. There. One set of rear wheels for on both sides. Quite a bit of wasted plastic here on these two trees. So here we have Sprue G. This is part of the internal weapons bay. On both sides, I don't know which side's which. Those are the doors. Those are the doors to the internal wheel bay. You can see the wheel bay, the internal weapons bay. You can see the separations here. Here's the intakes. They look, I don't know, not very detailed. Well, there's some detail here. Landing gear looks good. Here is the cockpit. No detail inside. The seat looks okay though. At least no big pin marks or nothing on it. Our next sprue is Sprue F. We have horizontal and vertical stabilizers. We have the forward canard. There's a ladder. Not really sure what that is. Wheel bay, maybe. Here's the instrument panel for the cockpit. The ladder is there. The main landing gear is here. You see, it has these parts look actually pretty good. And the instrument panel is also blank. There's nothing on it. Probably a decal for it, but these Edward look and stuff like that, that's pretty good stuff. That looks a lot better. So the last sprue is Sprue G. Here you have the inside of the internal weapons bay, and you see there is detail there. It's weird how they put more detail on the inside of the internal weapons bay as they did on the wheel wells or the cockpit. What's their focus? The weapons, I guess. Here you have also more missiles and pylons. And doors here. It does have some decent detail there. I don't know if everything's there. It's supposed to be. It doesn't have any piping or anything like that. I figured it would have some hydraulic lines, electric lines, or something in there. But there's nothing. I see some older kits from the 90s, like from Monogram. They actually included a lot of that stuff back then. So that is our SU-57. Parts look pretty good, but it looks like it's missing some detail on the wheel wells and in the cockpit. I think it'll still turn into a nice kit, but I'm not sure if I'm so much interested in building it anymore because of everything that's happened. I think it is missing quite a bit of detail too, though. I'm sure there's probably aftermarket for it though, if you're interested in the 5th generation Russian airplane. So in my next video, we'll be taking a look at 2 tanks that I built, because I built 2 Panzer IIs. I built them a little differently with different camouflage, but I want to go over them real quick and show you the good and the bad. I think they actually turned out pretty good for, old Tamati kits. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and until next time.